western desert. Topar had brown skin and wore his black hair in a ponytail after the Ladari fashion. Unlike the Ladari, he had bright green eyes, which must have come from a mysterious father he never mentioned. "You'd look like a drowned rat, too, if you'd just flown through the mountains in a thunderstorm," Kai said, bristling at the comparison. Topar's smile vanished as he glanced back at the dark clouds shrouding the jagged peaks in the distance.
"I'd never fly through a mountain thunderstorm. We'll take the dust tornadoes and Grytalk attacks on the plains and desert any day."
"Guess that's why we fly the mountain route," Kai said as she pulled the mail pouch from her saddlebags. "I've got an emergency dispatch here. Ready to catch?" Topar's eyes widened.
"I've never carried a red dispatch before. But I heard a senior courier say she flew one from Turkan addressed to the Emperor 2 days ago."
Even as he talked, Topar urged Namiri downward until she hovered beneath Nara. Within moments, the sky steeds had synchronized their wing strokes.
"Ready!"
Topar called up to her. Kai leaned over and dropped the pouch into his outstretched hands. When she was sure he had the pouch, she let go of its security line, and Topar tucked the pouch into his own saddlebags.
"I bet you took a peek,"
Topar said slyly. "I'd never open a dispatch," she said, bristling again.
"Glad to hear it,"
Topar said with a straight face after Namiri flew up beside Nara again.
"I'd hate to think Station Master Riken's favorite sky courier was breaking the rules."
"Riken doesn't have favorites."
"He favors couriers like you who fly their routes on time."
"Which is why you should be off instead of nattering on at me. Your timer's already ticking."
"He was just teasing you about opening the dispatch,"
Nara scolded her as Namiri pivoted and started the long flight across the plains. Her cheeks heated as she watched Topar fly away. How come her skysteed had better people sense than she did? "Fly safe, fly free," she called after them. Truly, she did wish them a safe flight. His desert route could be just as dangerous as her mountain one. Topar looked over his shoulder and flashed her a smile in acknowledgement. Kai waved, and soon he and Namiri were nothing but a black dot in the bright blue sky. Kai shifted her weight, and Nara spiraled down to the relay station. He landed nimbly before the front porch, showing off a bit to his fellow sky steeds in the nearby paddock. The station master, a small, lean man with a face lined from years of flying courier routes, strode out to meet her. He had the copper skin, red hair, and green eyes common among the Rosari, the richest, most powerful class in the Empire.
"Looks like it might have gotten tricky back there,"
Riken said, jerking his thumb toward the mountains. "Nothing Nara couldn't handle." Kai patted her skysteed's neck proudly.
"Wish we had a dozen more like him,"
Riken said with a smile. "We pushed it because we carried a red emergency dispatch marked for the commander of the garrison at Turkan. The station master told me it carried the Emperor's own seal."
"Did it now? That's the second we've seen this week. The first was from the garrison at Turkan and addressed to the Emperor himself."
Riken stared off to the west, his ruddy eyebrows drawn together in a frown. But then he seemed to remember Kai and focused on her again.
"Well, here's your pay. You'll have 3 days off before I send you back across the mountains. You two have earned it."
"Thanks," she said, and pocketed the precious dashens. Most couriers hung around the station to boast about their flights, but she wanted to get home to check on Uncle Doug's. First, though, she needed to let Nara drink. Mountain bred, he preferred the clean water from the town well over the muddy stream behind the relay station. She led her tired friend down the dusty yellow street of Derwin town, past dozens of sun-baked wooden shops and shacks to the town well. Under the sparse shade thrown by scraggly trees, a half-dozen town girls and women waited in line. They were all neatly dressed in long skirts and wore their hair in tidy buns and braids. Feeling like a damp, wind-blown mess in her flight jacket and courier pants, Kai led Nara to the back of the line. Almost at once, though, the middle-aged woman standing in front of her smiled and curtsied.